What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Sound Design channel. My name is La, and today I'm going to show you this little idea that I'm working on. In particular, I'm going to show you this kind of glitchy lead here. But let's have a look at the whole idea as a whole. Alright, cool. So yeah, it's a nice little idea. Not sure where I'm going to go with it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with it. But let's look at the lead today. All the other sounds that you heard are taken from the melodic stuff, and the synths and things like that are taken from the DIVA Circle Volume 2 pack through PML, which I'll link down below. And then the drums are taken from Deep Premium Volume 6. But some of the drums are actually from DIVA as well, like this hat here. The shaker, and there's like a white noise effect here as well. Yeah, they're all made in DIVA. I will show that in another video. I'm going to record that later today so you guys can see how that all works as well. So let's look at this glitchy lead. So a lot of the magic's happening with this beat repeat, which I'm going to get to. And there's a bit of external processing as well with saturation and things like that. But it's mostly this beat repeat, which is adding this nice interest. But let's look at the sound itself. So there's nothing overly complicated about the sound. It's nothing that I haven't really shown before in other videos. So I'm not going to completely make this from scratch because I wouldn't really be showing a lot of you guys anything particularly new. But we'll just dive in and I'll explain everything that's going on within the synth that's important. So we're using 3 oscillators, as you can see, because all the volume is up on these oscillators. We have this one, which is pitched down on the 16. This is on 8, and then this is on 2. But this one is detuned down to the 5th. But because it's been synced, so you can see here that the first oscillator, so you can only sync to the first oscillator, and the sync button, the second sync button is being clicked, which means it's this one here, which might be a little bit confusing because there's only 2, but this one would be the second one, and then this one is the third one. With it being synced, it means that the oscillator is moving at the same speed as the first oscillator, and speed is what determines pitch. So it's going to make it so that if you detune or anything like that, it's just not as heavy. It does still happen, you still hear the detune, but it's not as heavy, and I'll just show you what I mean. So say right now, this is what it sounds like. And we've got the sync on, and you're going to hear a bit of detune if I do this. You get some really cool tones from doing that, but if I take sync off and do that, it's going to be a lot more detuned. So you see what I mean? It does change it quite a bit. So yeah, you can play around with these, see which one you like. And for me, I liked it just like with it synced up the 5th. It sounded nice. Oh, by the way, this sound, sorry, is taken from this one here, this LD Retroic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, that's the sound. I don't think I changed much. I just took the effects off and added them on a return instead, so it was a bit cleaner. But otherwise, there's nothing. Oh yeah, and I pressed sync here, so it wasn't synced before. And that's it. So let's go to the filters and the envelope. So pretty simple. We just have like a low cutoff filter, and then we have the envelope 2, which is opening the cutoff, just like a lot of the other sounds that we've shown. So that's adding the attack to the sound. I'll take this away so you can hear. Right. And then we have a little bit of resonance, which you might be able to hear. I'll exaggerate it so you can hear it more. without it makes the sound a little bit deeper, and we don't really want that because we have like a big bass which is sitting around here. So I don't really want the main the main part of the sound to be too deep. I want it to be sitting around here really. So yeah, a little bit of resonance, got some key tracking as well, so as it moves up the notes, the cutoff filter is going to open up a little bit more. This has been attached as well, which I don't really understand why, because it's the same as this. So yeah, you can ignore this, it's not really doing anything.
Hi, this video is sponsored by us. If you like these tutorials and want to support the channel, check out our website packed with online courses and professional sample packs. Also check our ready-to-use and club-tested DIVA presets. You can browse by the genre and style you're looking for, or get the incredible deal with the full DIVA preset bundle. Thank you for listening, and now let's get back to your tutorial.
Alright, so let's go over this beat repeat and what it's doing to the sound. So I'll just turn it off so you can hear. So it's repeating the lead essentially at a certain timing, and the certain timing is set by the things like the grid and the variation and things like that. I'm not going to give a full tutorial on how beat repeat works because there is plenty out there on YouTube, but I'll just go over what I've used and why I've used it. So I've got it so it's set at 8th notes. So that means that the triggering will happen on 8th notes. So it won't happen all the time on every 16 notes. So not on every single one of these hits it's going to have the beat repeat, but pretty often, like maybe every other, there's going to have that beat repeat effect. And if we go down here to chance, so it's at 100% chance, which is just kind of like almost like a dry wet thing, but not really. But it's like if I reduce the chance, it's going to not happen so often, so it's going to not be so consistent. So with the 100% chance, I know it's going to happen where I've set it to. So with the gate, that is the amount of the, I don't know what to call them, the repeats, the amount of the repeats. So there's 3 every 16 that will happen. And then we go to the grid here. So this is where you kind of need to play around to get it to sound good. What's happening is we're going to have the repeats that are going to happen on 16 notes. So I could have it where it happens very quickly. I'll just take this variety down so you can hear. So that's going to be happening super quick, so quick that it almost doesn't sound like distinguishable. It sounds like it's completely changing the sound. And with here, we've got it on 16 notes, so it's adding this kind of like ARP rhythm afterwards. But if you don't have, before we go to this, if you have a variety on, it's going to switch between these different timings. And for me, I had it on 4, so it's going to switch between 4 different types. I think it's random between them. It doesn't go up or down in any particular way. But yeah, it goes between them. And if I didn't have this no triplet on, it's going to go on some timings which play on triplets. And triplets can sound good sometimes, but if you want something that's going to sound on time with everything else in the track, you don't really want the triplets on. Otherwise, it just goes on to a weird grid timing, and yeah, it sounds a little bit messy. I'll just show you. You can hear it starts at a timing which just doesn't feel like it's very clean or on time. But you could have that on if you like, it's up to you. So we are varying between these 4 different types of speeds, all staying perfectly on time, so it all stays kind of nice and tight. And then if we go over here, essentially all you need to know here is, so mix will be that the sound will play on top of each other. So the original lead will come through, the original signal will come through, and then this beat repeat effect will play on top of it, which is just going to boost your audio quite a bit, and it makes it sound a little bit messy. And then with the ins, whenever the beat repeat comes in, the original lead signal leaves. And then with gate, it will just play the beat repeat sound, so it will get rid of the original lead. I'll just show you. Which you might want maybe at some point in the track, but here you get the original signal coming through as well. And you see with mix. So it's just quite subtle with that. It doesn't make too much of a difference, but you will have a boost in volume because you're going to have the 2 signals playing on top of each other. So yeah, that is the beat repeat. The other things we have here is just a bit of saturation. This is quite subtle. I have it at 50%. It's just adding a little bit of added harmonics. I take it off. Just a slight bit there of saturation, and then I've adjusted the volume so it's not just adding volume there. A bit of compression, and then I'm boosting here with the compression, so I'm just exaggerating a little bit of the transients by having a loose attack here. So those initial punches that come through, or the initial transient that comes through, it's gonna be a little bit more punchy essentially because of this loose attack here. And if we go to the limiter, this is just to control the overall volume, because there are some points where it shoots up in volume, especially where the notes play higher up on the keyboard. The volume peaks a little bit more. So I'm just trying to control the overall ceiling and make sure that it doesn't peak too much. It just makes it easier for the mixing and mastering process afterwards. Cool, that is it. I think there's just an EQ here just to take out some more of the low end, because with the saturation it's going to be adding a little bit of the lower mids, and I didn't really want that because I had the sub in there. And then just a side chain to the kick, a very gentle side chain. We have the ratio at 2:1, and the threshold is quite light. I'll just play it with everything. Yeah, cool. So it's just a very interesting sound. It's I wouldn't say it's going to work on everything, like using this beat repeat on everything. It's going to make some things sound a little bit too weird and messy. But I like the difference that it makes and how it makes it sound just a little bit more unique. So yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be covering some of the other sounds in another video that I'm going to record later today. So that will be up shortly after this one has been uploaded. If you have any other tricks that you know of and you want us to, or maybe cover some other sounds, let us know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.
Hi, this video is sponsored by us. If you like these tutorials and want to support the channel, check out our website packed with online courses and professional sample packs. Also check our ready-to-use and club-tested DIVA presets. You can browse by the genre and style you're looking for, or get the incredible deal with the full DIVA preset bundle. Thank you for listening, and now let's get back to your tutorial.